Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of my favourite people and some of the most talented people in the world. And we've got four boys for you today who are doing the business. The Jack Pack are back. They're on tour throughout May and June. And they join us now. How are you doing? Are you all right?
We're
great, thank you.
We're all the better for that introduction.
Yeah,
wow.
Amazing.
There I was, sat Googling you the other day, and I was watching your videos. What is it like to be attractive? Because I'm ugly, let's face it.
Well, I'll take this one.
As the ugly one.
Yeah, move on.
It must be amazing to be you. I mean, to have the songs, that's a given. We'll talk about that in a minute. To come up with a concept where you're bringing them back to life is genius. And then to stand there and knock it out the park. It's a beautiful recipe. Well done, boys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're very, very lucky. We pinch ourselves every day and punch each other, and
we're all bruised.
We love what we do.
It's such a great feeling that, I don't know, it's spawned from just an idea, a mutual admiration of the genre, and we thought, this could be something a bit different, and it's kind of gone from this to BGT to reaching the final, and yeah, it is very surreal, actually.
To a top 10 album, to a tour which is coming up in June. We've had an absolutely amazing time of it, Alex, to be honest. And as Alfie says, we pinch ourselves. We get messages through about things that are happening, conversations about things that are coming up, and we're like, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it does. And it's like, what's next?
The music that you've chosen is a personal favourite of mine, but it is a bit strange because it's music harking back to past years and you're bringing it back to life. Yeah. I interviewed Frank Sinatra Jr. He only died a few weeks ago, actually. And to be in the presence of the man nearest to Sinatra was unbelievable. I just saw Don Rickles, a comedian, the other week who was the warm-up for the Rat Pack. Yeah. And again, that's the closest I'm going to get. Isn't it a shame that none of us are old enough to have seen these boys live?
We was lucky enough to be invited down to the Frank Sinatra Centennial at the Palladium in London, and we went there and we watched that, and I can't remember how many dates it was on, but it was sold out every single night, and it just shows you the influence he's had on people, and even now, standing the test of times with the songs, and I think the likes of obviously Bublé and Robbie Williams and these other more contemporary artists that are keeping it alive, and us guys that. Everyone just loves this type of music, and I think it just shows that. For
all of us, we kind of grew up with it. For me, my grandfather had a choir who toured America, and they supported, Elvis. They recorded with Bing Crosby. For Sean, his dad kind of got him played him night and day, and he instantly fell in love. And then
there's so much to love about it. The romance of that era. The legend of the Rat Pack. It was only really a few weeks. They didn't perform together. It wasn't like they were performing together as the Rat Pack for years. They had a few weeks together while they were filming Ocean's 11.
That's right. Yeah.
Where it just happened accidentally, and from that, this legend has built, the Rat Pack legend. But we're four guys. We love performing on stage. It's what we enjoy doing the most, and to be able to go and perform the songs that mean so much to us, and like yourself, so many other people. These songs stand the test of time, and delivering a song like My Way that's been done by Frank Sinatra and really is the only version that people should ever hear. For us to be able to record that in a slightly different way, with four voices,
four-part harmony.
It's just a dream come true, and a slight risk, but people have really
connected with it,
and it's just a dream.
There's two sides to the Rat Pack. When you saw them here in Vegas, there was the side that Frank was sort of honourable, wasn't he? He was the first guy to get Sammy into a hotel. Black people weren't allowed to stay in hotels, and he had him. And then the other side, they'd go downstairs and play the card games, and let's say get serviced under the table because they were that famous. These guys were the business. There aren't those people around anymore, are there?
One can dream, Alex.
I know, especially with my face. When you sing something like My Way, and I've seen it done a million times, if it's not done brilliantly, and by the way, you did do it brilliantly, it can sound terrible. What pressure is you as you rise to that crescendo to get that top note?
Do you know what? Like you say that top note, but when you've got
when it's on track on my mind,
I'm like the highest harmony. So you think of Frank's top note, and then you think a third above that again. Like so, the one probably the biggest pressure was when we walked out on stage, Hyde Park, 60,000 people, the BBC Proms, and we started singing the song, and immediately everybody in the crowd was singing along.
Yeah.
So not only was there that pressure, we all got goosebumps
Chokes you up
immediately,
a bit,
got emotional, and then we had to hit that, hit that end
If you
note
see,
as well,
if
so
you ever look at Martin's face when he hits that high note, it's a picture.
It's a picture.
That actually,
It's a picture.
especially with that song, is the problem keeping it together. If you get too involved, I suppose in any song, especially that song, you can get very emotional. Actually,
Yeah, you can get choked up.
yeah.
How much do you think Paul Anka makes on an average day from that song? Are we talking hundreds of thousands or millions?
I'll tell you what, we were very lucky to have quite a few, very decent writers on our album, from the legend that is Randy Newman to Guy Chambers, who writes for Robbie, to Ed Druitt, who writes for One Direction. But we actually had Paul Anka singing ideas down the phone, the R&R guy, to pitching us a song for the album. So we've been very lucky, and we've had so much choice and such amazing writers to choose from.
I've spoken to a lot of people in the business who have been asked to do these reality shows, X Factor, and of course Britain's Got Talent, more importantly, and they say no because they're too scared, it's a risk. Were you worried? I know you hadn't been together that long, but they could still laugh you off, you could still get the X's. Was there a conversation between you?
Well, what happened beforehand, we were actually all working full time at the time, and then it kind of gradually progressed. And by the time BGT started, we decided, you know what, if we're going to do this, let's take a bit of a risk. And it really does. You feel the pressure as soon as the first round, when we auditioned, was like, actually, do you know what? Even though we're quite confident, this could fail. They could buzz us off.
Yeah.
And
There's
it was quite
definitely a
scary.
risk. We put a lot into it. We spent a lot of time whilst working. We've all got families and adult lives. So to put that time and effort into it, and it all kind of fall away after the first audition, and we hadn't actually performed as a group to get in front of anyone before that first audition. So the pressure was huge. Plus the pressure of being on the stage anyway. The buzzers are just so loud that you're standing backstage ready to go on. And they literally terrify you because people are getting buzzed beforehand. So we ended up knowing that we would got through to the semi-finals. That was in March. We gave up our jobs at that point and put everything into preparing ourselves for the semi-final in May. And we got 3 standing ovations on each round, and we couldn't have asked for much more. It was just a wonderful experience. I'd go back and do it anytime.
Last night I was just sat in a Starbucks having a coffee with Paul Zerden, who took the risk to come and do it over here and won $1 million and won America's Got Talent. Is that something you'd consider? Because I could imagine 4 British boys coming over doing the Rat Pack stuff would go down brilliant.
We would love to.
That
It's
is
a bit of a dream for us.
Set that up for us. I'm sure you got contacts there.
Just give us an email.
I can get you an audition, I think.
Oh no, we actually met Paul. We were doing a gig for one of Simon Coyle's charities that he's a patron for, and he was there doing his thing as well. He's a fantastically talented guy, but as you say, those shows do carry a certain amount of risk with them. But when we're at this stage, we've had the top 10 album. We're about to embark on our tour in June from Birmingham, Southend, London, Manchester, from Wednesday the 15th. We kind of look back and go, wow, it's been a blink of an eye, and now we're about to go from performing to thousands and thousands of people to giving them complete access in these really kind of small, intimate shows that we just can't wait for people to see.
Our tour is designed around the old school Rat Pack days, where it's a very intimate show. Sinatra and Dean Martin used to play with the audience, and that's what we love to do. We just love being on stage and having that chemistry.
And it's a natural thing as well. It's not even something we have to put really into.
No,
we have to calm it down a bit.
Yeah. That's if anything, we're totally rein it in a bit, But.
Yeah, I know you like talking, but this is an interview. Can I ask a few questions? Let's do a bit on you before we go, because I hate it when you become invisible. There you are, sat there in a studio in London. I'm a few miles away. We've got Andrew Bourn. Tell us about you, how you got into it, and why you wanted to be at this position today.
I've always just loved an audience, to be honest. I guess it's the extrovert in me.
Show off.
And what really did it for me, not so much like the other guys. The other guys had influences from their parents. My main influence was Robbie when he did his Swing When You're Winning album. And that, watching him smash My Way with Steve Sidwell's huge band behind him at the Royal Albert Hall, it was just like, that is something I need to do. So that was it for me. Luckily, very luckily, my dream came true. So
And Alfie Palmer sat there with you. When we look at your voice mixing with the other boys, is there anything better than that alchemy coming together?
It stands out a lot, my voice. I know. Yeah, thanks for that, Alex. I appreciate that. No, but it's,
I'm always here to help.
It is. We all used to sing on our own before, but obviously nothing on this scale, and none of us have been in a group before, so it's quite comforting. And when we're on stage with each other, and you look, next to you, and you see the other boys there, it's you can't really describe it, to be fair. And as much as we get on so well, we are literally like four brothers who just love what we do and enjoy it every time. And every time we get on that stage, we leave our hearts out on there, and we just do it as best as we can, and we absolutely love it. This is our dreams, and this is what we want to do, and we want to keep doing forever.
And Martin McCafferty, or MM as I like to call you,
M&M.
For you, what's the best bit? Is it the sexiness of being on the road with the girls screaming? Is it about standing on stage singing a few tunes, or is it stopping in those Toby Carveries on the tour?
Do you know what? You've come to the right person. Do you know what I mean?
Toby Carvery.
Because I obviously come from Northern Ireland, I've never seen a Toby Carvery, and
you don't know what you're missing.
Introduced to like unlimited salad. It was fantastic. No, do you know what? It's got to be a mixture of everything, the glamour, the camaraderie between me and the boys. As Alfie said, we've been so lucky. You mentioned obviously Alfie's tone. We've been lucky that our different vocal types come together beautifully in terms of the sonic harmonies and stuff like that we do on stage. Our banter, our chemistry, the fact that if we have to share a room, we don't end up killing each other. It's just been a fantastic ride so far. The sexy girls and everything else are just an added bonus, man. I'm not going to get into it, to be honest. But
you're talking to the playboy of the group there, Alex. He's the single one that all the girls seem to be screaming for.
Does it ever become normal that when you go from normal lads working in normal jobs to being popular and screamed at? It is a bit strange, isn't it, when people are stood outside doors waiting for your autograph to take a selfie?
It is really weird. And seeing every day, seeing the fans popping up from Indonesia, Mexico, India, all that kind of stuff. It's really weird, but we don't take anything for granted.
Nothing.
I'm not going to lie, we love it.
And so you should. It doesn't get any bigger than this. And finally, Sean Ryder Wolf. I do love a triple barrel name. It must mean you're posh.
Oh, thank you.
He's a Surrey boy.
Yeah, the Ryder actually comes from my dad's an avid golfer, so I'm named after the Ryder Cup.
The thing that breaks most up is that you get bored with each other, you get frustrated with the songs. I guess with you boys, you've got infinite choices, because there is so much of this music you can choose from. The American songbook goes on and on.
Yeah.
And these are songs we're always going to love. We're never going to get bored if they're done in the right way. For you guys, is this going to be your life together, do you think?
We really hope so. As you say, there's so such a vast array of swing songs we can do, and also we've got the opportunity to we can swing up modern songs, and we would love to in future albums make our own standards. So it's actually really hard when we had to choose songs for the first album. Going, what 12 songs can we put on it? It was really tricky.
But a very enjoyable experience.
Very enjoyable experience.
To think that that's your job, sitting around listening to
music.
Al Sinatra and Bobby Darin tracks, thinking, how can we work on that one? It's quite something.
Yeah, Andrew's wife didn't really take the whole, nah, I can't make dinner, I'm working here. Him sitting with the headphones on Spotify,
Well, come to Vegas. I think they'd love you over here, and I really do think the Americans would fall in love with you. The Glee Club in Birmingham, June 15th. You've also got Southend on the 16th. 17th, you're going to be in Islington at the Assembly Halls, and Manchester Academy on June 18th. Boy, it's really nice to talk to you. Thank you for your time.
Alex.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Cheers, man. Enjoy Vegas.